Today we're going to be talking about Chelsea and how Pochettino could potentially challenge for, say, a Champions League or a top six finish in the Premier League. We are still in the summer window, so signings are still yet to come. But as you can see, there are a couple of gaps here, especially in the CDM role we'll get to in a minute. But for now, I'd really appreciate if you could drop a like on the video as well, and we'll get straight into it. In goal, we have Kepa, Bettinelli and Slonina. I've heard rumours that Chelsea might be getting a new goalkeeper. Pochettino will stick to Kepa. But Kepa has had a decent season. He was one of the better players for Chelsea last year, even though they finished 12th after spending 600 million. Anyway, moving on into the left-back roles, we have Chilwell and Cucurella, as well as Lewis Hall. I think this is one of their strongest positions. These three right here, I think they're good to go. Chilwell, proven first-team player. Cucurella, who's young, again, didn't have a great season with Chelsea last year. And Lewis Hall, who played quite a few games under Lampard towards the end of the last season, who I think really, he impressed me. He's technically very good. His low crosses into the box were quite good. Very impressed by him. Moving on into the centre-back roles, we have Badiashile, Thiago Silva, Trevor Chalobah, Wesley Fofana, Ethan Ampadu, Colwill and Malang Sarr. So, centre-backs is a weird one for me for Chelsea. I think they've got enough in Badiashile, Silva, Ampadu and Fofana. But Colwill might throw a problem in there in terms of being selected, as he is almost a left-sided centre-back. So we will put Colwill in there, put Thiago Silva there. In terms of getting a top four finish, I think this defence here, Colwill, Chilwell and Reece James. Reece James has got that position down on lock, as well as Malo Gusto, who came from Olympique Lyon. Now, as you can see, the CDM position is so empty, vacated by N'Golo Kante, who's gone to Saudi Arabia, and they're looking to fill that gap. Obviously, these guys can play in the number 6/CDM role, but they're more box-to-box midfielders. That's why I've got them in the centre mid position. But any one of these guys can move over to here. So Chukwuemeka in there, Conor Gallagher can go in there. But in the number 8 role, I've got a certain Moises Caicedo, who has been linked to Chelsea from Brighton. Reported fees around about 70 to 80 million pounds, which I think would be a good sign. And even Arsenal went for Declan Rice, or tried to get him and Declan Rice, which I thought would have been fantastic. But I think it would have been a bit overkill in the midfield. I think Partey and Rice would have been fine, but this is a Chelsea video, not an Arsenal one. Enzo Fernandez, who for me should not be playing here. For me, absolutely not. He's got to be in this attacking half with Nkunku, with Caicedo just sitting. Maybe Pochettino considers a change of formation. As you know from his time at Southampton and Spurs, they typically prefer to playing a 4-2-3-1 with a double pivot in front of the defence. Personally, if Caicedo does come in and he sits in front of the defence like that, I think he'd be much better. And it'd make Chelsea a lot more dangerous. And of course, you've seen Arsenal play this new box midfield where their fullback tucks in, where possibly Reece James could come in and form the box in the middle. Thiago Silva will probably be caught out on counter-attack with the amount of space that's on his side, but Reece James was quick enough to cover him there. And you almost form a box midfield with Enzo, Nkunku, Reece James and Caicedo, with Sterling and Madueke on the wings, with Jackson, who I'll get to in a minute. But I don't think Pochettino's going to do that. I think he's going to stick to straight to midfield here, with Reece James in the back, Chilwell occupying the left-hand side, with Colwill in the left centre-back role with Thiago Silva, Caicedo. They'll probably form a box in build-up here, which could benefit them, but it depends how heavy the press is from the opposition. If they decide to play, what's it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they do overload this and play a high press on this team, they might struggle, which is why I think Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez are perfect in this role here. Especially Caicedo, they just play the ball out, and then Enzo can work the ball from defence to attack. Probably one more defensive midfielder like Caicedo, a backup to him. They've also signed Andre Santos recently. He played on loan, I think it was Vasco da Gama. Brazilian team in their league, and he did quite well for them. He could feature in a box-to-box role next to Enzo Fernandez, and then Caicedo just sits in that 4-3-3. And then we're gonna go for the big money signing in Nkunku. They got this deal done. They got the deal done in January, but he still stayed there, finished the season with Leipzig. And he's now joined Chelsea. I think he's going to be dangerous. I think he's going to be so dangerous. He almost gives me a Dimitri Payet / Kevin De Bruyne hybrid. Like, he's so good. He's a goal scorer. He's a creator. He's so technical. And he's got that flair about him. There's something there. You can literally slap him up top as well. My only issue is, I think you get the best out of him in that number 10. But he can get away with playing anywhere across the front three. There, or there. but his best position is probably here, I would say, number 10. Well, the 4-3, basically. Strikers, you know, Chelsea, the number 9 curse has been going on for years. They've recently signed Nicholas Jackson on a £35 million release clause from Villarreal, which I've, to be honest, I've not watched much of him. I've not watched much of La Liga at all, and I've not seen Jackson play. But I don't think his stats were that high anyway. But he's a young striker, good development on him, can develop him well. But I think someone who has played in the Premier League will do well for him is, I'm going to stick to Broha, he played quite well. I think he was on loan with Southampton, and I think he did very, very well for them. It'll probably transition into 3-4-2-1. So if you've got Sterling, you've got Enzo, Caicedo, and Reece James, and then you would have Nkunku on the left, Madueke on the right. Madueke using his left foot, cutting inside, driving in towards the goal, and Nkunku being a wide playmaker, as well as Sterling. Here, these guys can link up here with Broha. Here. Because any one of these guys can... Okay, Broha probably not playing out wide, but Sterling and Nkunku could have a good relationship on that left-hand side. For me, they've got to have... They need a 25-goal plus striker for sure. Otherwise, I think Chelsea will struggle to get in the top 4. I think top 6 is very, very possible for them. Very possible. But will they get into top 4 or Champions League? Where do I think they need to improve? Well, Caicedo, for sure. In the CDM role, that is perfect. Because I don't think Conor Gallagher's good enough for that role. I think he's too attack-minded. Who else have they got? They've got Lewis Hall that can come and play on the left-hand side. Obviously, they've brought in Jackson, but they definitely need a number 9. Probably a Victor Osimhen. Maybe even a Harry Kane, because he's in his last year of his contract at Spurs. I don't think he's going to sign a new contract. I think he's got to move. Either United or Chelsea. He's got to go to those two. Or even Bayern. Bayern have held talks with Thomas Tuchel as well. They've also got this man. Chelsea have Mudryk that they signed for 75 million. Arsenal nearly signed for him again. Chelsea love to try and hijack Arsenal deals. They ended up doing it, and then the deals end up falling flat on their face. Mudryk, however, for me, he's a very talented player. Like, you could see, I think he came on against Liverpool, or he played the game against Liverpool. I don't know if he came on as a sub or he started, but he's technically so good. He's threatening, he's direct, he's similar to Madueke, but he's right-footed on the other side. So he can tuck in this way, and then the fullbacks can give them width like this. Colwill and Thiago Silva. Maybe Caicedo steps back, and then Enzo and Nkunku can come in here. Almost, again, forming the box. Enzo and Nkunku will come in here. Mudryk will tuck in. Chilwell, that license to go up and down. And Reece James to go up and down as well. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for the video. And if you want more content like this, please do press the subscribe and press the bell button as well. Thank you for watching.